Hi guys, in this video I will be reviewing the Weilong GTS version 2. First thing in this video, I'd like to apologize for taking so long to get this video up. However, shipping to Canada, first of all, it can be a pain. It can take a while. And then after that, I hurt my wrist a little bit, so cubing wasn't the best, and then I went into my 2 weeks university exam season. And then last week, a week and a half ago, I hurt my index finger. And so every time I fold it, it hurt, right here, these two joints, it really hurts when I bend it a little bit. So obviously doing U primes is terrible and it hurts so much. Even just typing on the keyboard can hurt. So I haven't been cubing much lately, and because of that, I won't have any solves with this cube with the review. But if you can find some, I'm sure there are plenty out there. So the first thing you notice with the packaging is it's really nice. It's red, it's shiny, and it's even got a magnet. It's not like most of the other Moyu boxes, which are something like this. They put a lot of effort in the packaging. And now there's also a Team Moyu card in it. Here you can see mine. Pretty nice. Now, yeah, it won't necessarily be mine. It'll just be one of the few Team Moyu members. And there's also another card on the other side of the package, which is just a Weilong GTS version 2, I guess. Now, this also brings out that as opposed to the other Weilong GTSs, this one does have a separated corner, which does allow you to have stickerless cubes, which is something really cool, and it's obviously a plus. First thing you realize with this cube is that it's smaller than a regular 3x3. It is 55.5 millimeters, I believe. It has standard Moyu shades. The feel, I like the feel very much because it's a bit reminiscent of the original Weilong. It feels a bit blockier, and it might feel a little heavier and maybe a little bit more controllable than the Weilong GTS version 1. Except, even though it feels a bit blocky and heavier, don't be scared at all, because this cube is also very smooth and it should not lock up. Here, if I put at 45, it just cuts through very easily, very little effort required. There might be a bit of a zone where it'll lock up, but you should turn accurately anyways. And everywhere else, the cutting is just so effortless, and that's generally what's the problem with cubes. Even though they corner cut a lot, sometimes they can take a lot of effort, but in this case it's absolutely effortless. It just glides through. Now, something else that I've noticed about this cube is that the feel reminds me a lot of the Weilong GT. The Weilong GT also had a bit of a blockier feel, just like this, and it is quite similar. If we analyze the pieces are also quite similar to the Weilong GT. Now, I don't know if you've tried an Weilong GT, but the Weilong GTS version 2 is similar to it, except that it's a lot smooth. It's smoother, and it doesn't have the same kind of locking and catching problems that the other one had. So on the left is the Weilong GTS version 2, and on the right is the Weilong GT. So you can see that the edge pieces are quite similar, and the corner pieces as well. I'm sorry that the lighting isn't the best. This one does have a stock, which the Weilong GTS version 2 does not have, and I believe that might be what was giving it the extra lockups, which is the GTS version 2 does not have. So overall, the GTS version 2 is an amazing cube. Even though it might feel a little heavier just because of the way it is very light, and it can either be controllable or it can be very fast, depending how you set your tensions and you lubricate it. So overall, this is a very good cube. It will be my main, except I won't be using the original version. I did receive a magnetic version from Moyu. This one is not mass-produced, at least not yet. I'm not sure if they have any plans on mass-producing it. But it's just like the original, except there are a little weaker magnets in here, weaker than the Weilong GTS version 1 magnetic one, at least the one from the cubicle. And I found that those magnets were a little too strong, and I definitely like this strength of magnet in this kind of cube that we have for the version 2. Because it doesn't get in the way, it just helps you turn a little more precisely. And maybe it's just because I have them set up a little differently, maybe not, but I find that the cube even feels a lot smoother with these magnets. So this is definitely my main 3x3 cube. And in fact, I did get my first sub 7 average of 12, which is actually 6.99, and I got that a little before my exams, so that was like 3 weeks ago. Unfortunately, as I said, I won't have any solves, but Lucas Etter has a former North American record average on this cube, and I think he used the magnetic one as well, so feel free to check that one out. I'm going to put a link to that average in the description. I hope you enjoyed this video. One last thing actually, for one-handed solving, I'm sure that you're interested about that as well. The smaller size is definitely a plus, especially if you have smaller hands. The feel is quite nice. It reminds me a bit of the Weilong GTS version 1. I'm sorry right now my turning is not very good just because my index finger hurts so much. But it has a nice smooth turning, although it doesn't necessarily have the same speed as something like the Weilong GTS version 1 has, and that's why I'm going to stick with the Weilong GTS version 1 for one-handed. The magnetic version is actually good for one-handed as well. My index, sorry. Except I think that I would still prefer it without the magnets if ever you would be wanting to use it for one-handed. So I think that that concludes my video. I don't think I'm going to be adding anything. But yeah, this Weilong GTS is a great cube. I'll put a link in the description on where to buy it. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good day.